want to thank those who came to our event on the topic of marriage with Rabbi and Rebitz and Gottlieb speaking for coming. And for those of you who missed it, hopefully we'll be able to have you next year at our annual event. I want to share what I said prior to the event starting, but I want to add something important and additional that wasn't mentioned at the event, and it's worth listening again in order to get to the end. And that is, in this week's Parsha, there's something that we can learn that's very important with all of the stress that's going on in the land of Israel, and it's dealing with its neighbors, so to speak. And that is that the spies came back that Moses had sent in order to investigate the land of Israel and scared everybody not to go. The locals were stronger, larger, better armed, and better fortified. We didn't stand a chance, they said. We're not going to win. And God got very upset, and he decreed that they all should die in the wilderness, and a new generation should rise and go into the land. A group after that came to Moses and said, "We're sorry, we repent. We would like to go into the land." And Moses said, "Don't go. God will not be with you." That was their punishment, that God was not with them. And since we believe in the idea of measure for measure, according to what you did, that's the way you're punished. If their punishment was that God was not with them, it must be that their belief was that we will not succeed, not because they're too strong for us. We will not succeed because God, they believed, would not be with them. And they were very wrong. God had planned to be with them, and only because they didn't believe it, he no longer was with them. What this really teaches us is that we can have an impact. Instead of worrying, instead of just giving money, which is a great way to do that and help people who need it there and in other places, we can work on our belief with just a minute a day and say, I believe God is with the Jewish people. And in so doing, we'll make that happen because God comes closer to us and rewards us measure for measure. If we believe he's there, he'll be there with us. And the success of the army in the land of Israel and its ability to defend and go on the attack to protect itself, it will succeed in direct proportion to how much God helps them. So think about that idea that I believe that God is with the Jewish people. Just take a minute every day and you can make a difference. It's interesting to note that one of the most famous scenes in Jewish history involved Bar Kokhba, who was thought by Rebbe Akiva, who many of you have probably heard of, to be the Messiah, or at least a potential Messiah for the Jewish people, about 2,000 years ago during the period of the Roman conquest of the land. But he wasn't a false Messiah. We believe he really could have been. He was what's called a failed Messiah. He did something wrong. What is it that he did wrong? Well, I'll tell you. It's not surprisingly, it's very relevant to us right now. Bar Kokhba prayed to God, God, I really don't need your help to win. We're strong enough to win without you. But please just don't be against us. And that idea, that thought, that hubris, that we didn't need God, even when we felt we were stronger, was a dangerous thought that drove God away, so to speak, or moved us further from him, effectively making God farther, and made it almost impossible, and in the end, a failure on Bar Kokhba's part, and we lost to the Romans. May God help us succeed, that our country in the land of Israel should be safe. The Jewish people should be safe there and everywhere. And remember, the secret to being safe is believing that God is with us all the time. Have a good Shabbos.